Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have Carl Bernard with Allstate. He is going to be going over their under 65 options. This is really important, I think, with rising deductibles and such with Marketplace. It's an excellent way to bundle and help offset some of those out-of-pocket costs. So thank you very much for being here, Carl. With that, I'll hand it over.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate your time. Welcome, everybody. Excited to be able to spend a few minutes with you. Most of you are already probably contracted correctly. Obviously, step one is make sure that you are. If you're not familiar with the products here through Allstate Health Solutions, reach out to the team there and at Agent Equity Group, and they would love to obviously make sure that that's already been done. Listen, if you take nothing else from this training, know that me and my team are here to help you. Okay? There's a lot of moving parts and pieces to the health insurance world as a whole, let alone just the under 65 changes with ACA. And it seems like it changes depending on who's in office and what executive orders are passed and what subsidy amounts are going to be at for this open enrollment. There's a lot of change always in this industry. Me and my team would love to make sure that you guys know enough to be dangerous and rely on us anytime you need it. So I wanted to start with this screen. Make sure you have my phone number, my email address. Caden also helps on my team, so I wanted to put his info up there as well. Sarah is our sales associate. She helps a lot on the licensing side of things, the contracting, making sure commissions get paid to you guys accurately. So reach out to me and my team anytime. That number at the bottom is a toll-free number where you can get any and all of us. But did want to start there and make sure that you had a way to reach out. If we haven't heard from you in a while, call us. We'd love to connect. Here's a brief agenda of what I want to cover today. Okay, there's a lot of information on these slides, I don't want to read every slide to you, but I do want to make sure that we can cover some of this fixed benefit options, short-term medical, accident plans, term life, cancer, and CI options, and then also dental. Okay, and I'll show a product map of each of these plans. Obviously, many of you are kind of Midwest based, Michigan based, but I know some of you sell in other states. So I did want to make sure that that was included here as well. Okay, let's start with fixed benefit. This product has become more and more popular in a realm of short-term medical having some challenges right now. The state of Michigan has always been a 6-month state for short-term medical. Many states throughout the country have been a 12-month option with, up to 3 years of short-term medical being able to be sold. The Biden administration limited short-term medical to be sold for 3 months with a 1 month renewal before you have to reapply. Okay. I expect at some point the Trump administration to shift things back to allow people to kind of purchase what they think is best for them and their family instead of pushing everyone into an ACA option. But that has not happened yet. The president's been busy with a lot of other things. So, with that being said, Access, a fixed benefit plan, has become more popular because there's no term length connected with it. There's no, hey, after 3 months or 4 months or in a Michigan, if we get back to 6 months, what do we do then? Access is, you can keep it indefinitely. So, some of the benefits to your client, obviously, if they don't want to pay a high ACA cost, if they don't get a big subsidy, maybe you're outside an open enrollment period, maybe you're in between jobs or waiting for a waiting period at work to kick in, or maybe I just got off the phone with someone. They help clients a lot that retire early. They're trying to bridge that gap until Medicare kicks in. Obviously, nice benefits to the agent as well. As a solution like this, especially when you package it with some of the plans that I'm going to talk through, it really creates a nice comprehensive solution to your client. It's a nice ability to cross-sell into many other products. Obviously, nice commissions, a nice ability to earn for you, the agent. Okay. Here's a couple of the highlights on Access. Won't spend a ton of time on the slide because the upcoming slides we're going to kind of talk through it. But it is a very simplified issue, meaning you submit an application, you're going to know immediately if you're qualified or not. There's no exams, things like that. So Recuro is a really nice benefit we'll dig into. Big nationwide PPO network. There is a 3-year rate guarantee, a price guarantee with access, which is really, really nice. No other fixed benefit plan has something like that. And then it's a we pay first approach. So a lot of day one benefits as opposed to a traditional health insurance plan is really your client pays first, that big deductible, whatever their out of pocket is, and then we, the insurance company, kick in. This one kind of flips that. So we'll go through that as well. Couple more quick highlights before we jump into the kind of the where it's available. A lot of day one benefits. Your customer can go to any doctor or hospital and they can get that set scheduled amount of benefits. So there's no deductible to meet. They're going to know here's how much I get when I need to go be seen, whether it's an urgent care visit or a hospital stay, things like that. And there's benefits for both preventive and unplanned office visits, x-rays and labs, surgeons, and things like that. So let me jump into the map itself. You'll see the states in blue are the states that we have this product access. So most of the states I see you guys selling into. And there's three levels of coverage. So you'll see three columns here. I wonder if I can grab a highlighter and just kind of show you. So this is called Metal Gap, Core, and Plus. So if you're looking vertically down the page, you'll see these are the benefits and payouts for the Plus plan. These are the benefits and payouts for Core. Okay. Metal Gap, the first column here, guys, is designed to be a product that really pairs with an ACA plan. So any of you on this call who sell ACA options during open enrollment, look into the Metal Gap as a product that you could potentially offer alongside your bronze level plan. Does a really good job protecting their out-of-pocket exposure. A lot of those plans historically have been highly subsidized. So having an option that really gives them a ton of benefits if they had to hit a $9,000+ out of pocket is really, really nice. Okay, but I'm not going to read every benefit to you, but you'll see there's some really rich benefits on the inpatient hospital side for the core and the plus specifically. A lot of surgical benefits. These are the highest payouts of any product like this that I have seen in the industry. I know some of our competition actually just enhanced and tweaked some of their products to try to be more competitive. It still isn't even close to the payouts that this one is showing here. So this is kind of some additional benefits that show more on the outpatient side of things. So these plans will give you your client reimbursement again for office visits. The core plan, for example, $150 they'll get back 7 times a year if they have to go to the office visit for your preventive visit, urgent care, x-rays and labs. And then I'll focus your attention on the bottom here under emergency services for just a second. This kind of section here. I do get a lot of feedback on all of these levels that God forbid your client's got to be taken by an ambulance somewhere, or especially, flight for life, an air ambulance situation. But a $25,000 check is a very, very high payout for that. Most plans don't provide much coverage there at all, maybe 500 to 1,000. So I just want to point out this one actually does have some good payouts associated with it. And when you pair it with a couple of the other products that I'll talk through, it's a pretty good comprehensive solution. Okay, I mentioned that Access has a large nationwide network. It's through First Health. So First Health Network, it's over 5,100 hospitals, 110,000 facilities. And the statistic there that I highlighted is, I think, what is most important and what most agents use in the field to help clients, connect with this network. 96% of the US population has access to a doctor, a provider within 20 miles of their house. So it is very, large, very easily accessible, and the discounts range from 30 to 50% of the bill. So I'll show you in a couple claim examples here in a minute why that discount can be so important. All right, we're also going to talk through Recuro for a few minutes. Recuro is an optional benefit you can buy when you purchase Access. Okay, I'm fighting to get Recuro as a standalone option that we could have with all of our plans because I think it's an incredible value for your client. So it's an additional $7 a month, and it's basically a check the box feature. When you run a quote for Access, you'll have the option to purchase Recuro Health. It's $7 a month. Doesn't matter if it's just you on the plan or you and your family on the plan. It's $7 for anyone that enrolls total. Okay. And it's got a $0 copay for 95% of the top 200 most commonly prescribed medications, unlimited use of 24 set, like a teledoc feature, telemedicine. No cost to use that. That's really rare. Even with my own benefits here through Allstate, I use something very similar, and I pay, I think it's $10 every time I have to use it. So there's a really, I think, some good value with Recuro, as long as the client really understands what they're buying and how to use it. So I think most agents, if you haven't sold a plan like this access plan in the past, most agents are hesitant, right? And I don't blame them. And so I wanted to show a couple examples of, hey, what does it look like if you actually had a couple big potential claims they would need to be paid when you have a plan like access. So in this example, Michael's walking his dog, he falls and he tears his rotator cuff. Bad day for Michael, right? So he finds out he needs rotator cuff surgery. And so he's got that core plan, that middle option that we were talking through. So his total treatment costs for this surgery are $19,500. Because he stays within that First Health network, he's going to get a nice discount here. Over $10,000 of the bill is discounted. And then here are the payouts that were right on that schedule that we were looking at earlier. He's going to get $4,000 for the surgery, $1,500 for an assistant surgeon, $500 for anesthesia, and $500 for the ambulatory surgical benefit. That all equals 16,640. Okay, meaning Michael's out of pocket is $2,860 with a plan like this. If he had a bronze plan with no supplemental products, he'd be out the whole, whatever his deductible was, $9,000 plus. Okay. And talk through an additional rider that I think should be sold every time you make an access sale. And I'll show you here in just a couple more slides why. But it's called specified care. This, in my opinion, guys, is the reason why Access has become such a good seller. Because it does a good job, not just covering the front end things, but a lot of the big scary claims on the back end too. So the specified care rider has to be sold with Access. It's got a $250,000 maximum per episode payout. Plan max of $2 million. And it's got a couple different higher deductible options, 30, 60, 75, and $100,000 options there. Okay. So I think it'll make sense once we go through a claim here. But when you pair this with Access, it's a much more all-encompassing solution, and it closes a lot of those big scary things on the back end. Here's your map of where the specified care rider specifically is located. And this is a snapshot taken right from the brochure. Okay, so I wanted you to spend just a minute looking at some of those covered conditions on this rider. It's a critical illness payout with a lot more included in it, right? So your life-threatening forms of cancers, your heart attacks, your strokes, comas, paralysis, organ transplants, joint replacements, a lot of the bigger claim issues that people would be scared about having a quote mini med fixed benefit plan, right? Some of those terms that we've had in the market forever. Adding a policy like this really does limit their out-of-pocket exposure. So let's look at a claim where you have both of those, where you have that core plan and you purchase the specified care rider. So in this example, Mike finds out he needs heart surgery. Total cost is $123,000. He's got that middle plan, the core plan. That's kind of what I stuck to for all these claim examples today. And he's going to get a 35% discount right off the top. So his 123,000, he's going to get 43,000 knocked off the bill. Let me go to the next slide. I think it breaks it down a little bit even easier to see. Yep. So here's your benefit for, the PPO network. And then here are all the payouts that we were showing on the initial screens, right? Here's your surgeon benefit, your assistant surgeon benefit, the anesthesia benefit. All of those, are going to be listed there for him to kind of break down and understand. And since his access plan benefits apply toward his specified care deductible, Mike only has to pay the remaining $2,525 to meet his $30,000 deductible for specified care. Okay, so Mike's specified care plan kicks in and pays that remaining $49,950 of those treatment costs. Okay, so additionally, because that specified care policy has an episodic deductible, meaning per episode, Mike's deductible doesn't reset on January 1st or anything like that, meaning all his follow-up doctor visits are covered through 270 days after his surgery. So Access plus specified care has really created a package of plans that agents have been much more confident bringing to market. We'll talk through some of these as well, but here are some additional supplemental plans that a lot of agents will partner and pair with Access. All right, Plan Enhancer, we'll talk through Trio Med, HEP, Hospital Expense Protection, Cancer, Heart, Stroke, CI, and some dental options. Okay, so we'll go through those now. So speaking of some better protection, at Allstate, we like to use this kind of one-legged stool example. I think it's kind of a hokey example, but I think it does stick in your mind, and I hope it does with you. Everything's fine if you're on a one-legged stool, as long as you have decent balance, right? But what happens if you lose your balance? And what that means is if you just have a standalone health insurance plan, with the out-of-pocket costs the way they are now, guys, I would argue 3, 4, 5 years ago, some of these supplemental plans were less necessary than they are now. We've had them on the shelf a long time. Many of you guys on this call I've probably worked with in the past. I've been doing this since 2006. I didn't really talk through a lot of these early in the ACA days. To be honest, even 3, 4 years ago, because the deductibles were still fairly reasonable for an ACA plan, I didn't really promote some of these extra plans. Deductible out of pockets now are crazy, right? 2025, it's $9,200, $18,400 for a family. So having some additional, instead of propping up those other legs with your own wallet, with your own out of pocket, the goal here is to add some supplemental plans to kind of round out the coverage and to make a much better total package of plans. So hopefully that makes sense. And what I want to spend most of the rest of our time today is kind of talking through some of those options. Hospital expense protection is one of those most popular plans. Hospital expense protection pays your client a set dollar amount for specific medical occurrences. Okay. Think very similar to what we just talked through on Access, because it just pays a set amount based on the service that they're being seen for. It's got a $25,000 air ambulance payout for all levels. It doesn't coordinate with any other plans. And so here's the map of HEP, Hospital Expense Protection. It is in Michigan. It's available throughout the country, and we're adding states. We're able to get Nebraska approved. So we continue to grow where this one is. And there's 6 levels of coverage. I've given some feedback to my team to say I think 6 is a lot. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but kind of having 6 to kind of flip through and look at can be, in my opinion, a little overwhelming for a client. With that being said, plan A, B, C, D, E, F, our most popular plan is plan C. So if I were to have you start somewhere, I would look at plan C. Some of my agents joke, they call it Hep C, Hospital Expense Protection C. So Hep C, because it's got a really nice $5,000 payout if your client's admitted to the hospital. You'll see some of these other plans are more rich in coverage when it comes to paying out for office visits or some of these things down here as well. Some reimbursement but if you're buying that core plan or an access plan, a lot of this is already paid for there. So Hep C, Plan C, is our best seller for hospital expense protection. These plans can all be sold standalone, you guys, or they can be bundled in with a short-term medical product with us, with a health access plan. But you could purchase, a plan through Priority Health or from a local ACA option and then purchase an HEP plan alongside it. Okay, so you don't have to purchase their quote health insurance option here through Allstate Health. You could go into our site and just quote the hospital expense protection as a standalone if you so choose. Okay, I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but there's a lot of different options and a lot of different levers that we can pull in the individual health space. Historically, one of those has been short-term medical, right? I briefly mentioned it earlier on the call, where I think short-term medical is going to get back to, a multi-year strategy in many states. Because Michigan historically has not had that, my assumption is we'll go back to a 6 month option there. I don't know that to be the case. I know they're even working on, are there options that we could go even longer than 6 months? But currently, here's our footprint of where we offer short-term medical. And why would you sell short-term? I would say it's similar to reasons why you're offering access, right? It's a very similar client. Maybe they're in between jobs. Maybe they're waiting for a waiting period to kick in. If they're getting to the next open enrollment period, maybe they're bridging the gap to Medicare. So all of those reasons could be, traditionally, I would say since since ACA kind of came about, many people were just looking for alternatives to the ACA. So short-term medical has been the case for, the healthier, I would say, folks that are kind of in that arena. Here's a snapshot of the brochure that we have for short-term. We have 3 plan designs: Essentials, Enhanced, Copay Enhanced. Most people aren't buying Essentials, guys, because it's got a lower lifetime maximum on it. Just obviously based on budget, some people choose that option. This middle plan, Enhanced PPO, is where we see most of the business come through throughout the country. Usually kind of in that $5,000, potentially a $10,000 deductible. But $1 million policy, works like a traditional health insurance plan where you pay your deductible, your co-insurance, and it's going to pay out up to that $1 million mark. It's got some first dollar benefits on it for preventive things like that, but it's got much less payouts on the front end than an access plan would. I hope to train with you guys even more toward the end of the year when short term maybe comes back to its full strength. So stay tuned on that. Let's spend a minute or two on some of the accident policies that Allstate Health can offer your clients. These plans have become extremely popular because they are so affordable. Traditionally, they're some of the most affordable supplemental plans in the market today for your under 65 options. Not going to go through all the details of each of them, but if you're offering any type of accident coverage to your clients and it's not either Plan Enhancer or Trio Med, I'd encourage you to take a look. And obviously, if you're not offering them today, I would encourage you, consider it. They are really, really do make a great impact in the market now. The first one's called Plan Enhancer. It's guaranteed issue, so you don't have to worry about passing underwriting, which is really, really nice. And the base policy of Plan Enhancer is an accident plan, accident medical expense plan. There are additional riders, some opportunities for you to buy up a cancer and heart stroke policy and a sickness hospitalization policy. Those are optional. Okay, so Plan Enhancer you can really customize. Maybe I just want a cheap accident plan. Maybe I want an accident plan with the cancer riders. You can do that. Maybe I want all 3. And there's wide range of benefit levels from 2,500 to 17,500. The nice thing about Plan Enhancer for those agents listening that do offer ACA coverages is that we have the exact bronze level out-of-pocket deductibles that we will match with Plan Enhancer. Okay, so if you have that $9,200 deductible for your bronze plan, we'll have a $9,200 Plan Enhancer that, in theory, if they had an accident, if they had a cancer, a heart attack, any of those, if there's sickness, in the hospital because of a sickness, this policy is going to pay that entire deductible. They can take the $9,200 check and really do with it what they want because we're going to send it to them. But in theory, they would be able to take that check and either pay their health insurance deductible And what happens in many cases is, dad had a heart attack. He's out of work for a while, right? So maybe a $9,200 check goes a long way with that family to keep the lights on, the mortgage payment going, the cars, gassed up, things like that. Okay, that's a quick overview of Plan Enhancer. We also have a policy that's sold called Trio Med. Trio Med, depending on the state, is more popular because um, in some states, actually Michigan's one of them, where we don't have all of those riders available for Plan Enhancer. Okay, so depending on the state that you're selling into, some of the Plan Enhancers have all three, some just have the accident plan. Trio Med, trio meaning three, it's got three kind of all combined into one. An accident policy, a critical illness policy, which is a cancer, heart attack, stroke, plus a lot more benefits. And then also accidental death and dismemberment coverage combined all into one plan. It's guaranteed issue. Actually, it says starting next week, but that's live now. So it's guaranteed issue. We have plans up to $10,000 that you can get completely guaranteed issue. And your CI benefits can range from 2,500 up to 30K. So I wanted to show a slide here that just shows some of those critical illnesses that would be paid out. For those of you familiar with critical illness payout plans, a lot of those category two, the invasive forms of cancer, cancer in situ, which means it hasn't spread. To my knowledge, a lot of those aren't covered by other critical illness options in the market. Here's a snapshot of where we have TrioMed. And a lot of this is what we just talked about. So let's spend a minute or two on our term life, cancer, and CI standalone options. As you can see, we have our term life in almost every state. Very, very simple term life with CI. It's a lump sum payment that goes right to your client if, God forbid, they're diagnosed with 15 eligible conditions for payouts. All of those that were just shown on the previous screen. So very, very popular to sell these because obviously, like I was mentioning in that example, if dad has a heart attack, if dad has a stroke, if there's a cancer diagnosis, as one of my close friends is going through, a 15,000, a 20,000, a $30,000 payout to them sure helps just keep things going during a tough time. So here's our term life CI plan availability. Critical illness is a very popular plan to be sold. And same as our standalone term life plan, issue ages are 18 to 60. No medical exam required. We like to say no pee, no poke. So that no one's going to your house to, check any blood levels or take any samples or, put you on a scale, things like that. It's simply pass, fail based on the application that's submitted. Policy auto renews through age 85. And it's primary and spousal coverage only for this term life critical illness plan. The nice thing about our site, guys, if you run a quote and you put, mom, dad, and 5 kids on there, our site's only going to show you what plans are available for that family. If you quote a guy that's, 63, only plans that are available for a 63-year-old in whatever zip code you enter in are going to populate. So it is pretty foolproof from that regard. Hopefully, if you on this call or listening later sell dental. Dental has become more and more popular throughout the country the last few years. And I think part of it's because we have a really unique plan design that I'll share with you here at the end. We have a plan, we have a couple different dental options. The first one that I want to briefly mention is called Dental PPO. Works like a traditional dental plan out there where it's got a network, obviously very large nationwide coverage there, but it's got a PPO network with the Aetna Dental Administrators Network. There's a provider lookup tool right in the brochure. Any of you want me to send it to you, just let me know and I'd be happy to send it to you directly. but it's got three plan designs, value, plus, and prime. And it works, traditionally like most dental plans on the market today, where it's kind of got here's what a policy pays out 100% of. Some of the basic things, maybe it's going to pay 80%. Some of the major things are going to pay out more 50-50. That's how most dental plans out there work. There is an ortho benefit for children under 18 available on that prime plan. So if you have a need for orthodontic coverage in the market, we do have an option for you there. We also have a plan called dental copay, and now we have two copay plans. These are what we have seen agents really gravitate towards selling even more than that traditional, 80, 20, 100% model that we just walked through. So let's call this one copay 1, dental copay 1. It's got a $3,000 annual max. The nice thing is there's no waiting periods for preventive and basic, and it's just a 6-month wait for major. Okay, and the nice thing about these copay designed plans is your client knows when they go to the dentist, here's how much I'm going to be out of pocket. I wish I had that with my own plan. I have three daughters. Two of my three daughters are getting more braces, bottom braces put on this morning. So they're at the ortho currently getting those put on. And until we show up, many times it's tough to even know what your out of pocket is going to be on my plan through my employer, right? These copay plans work different, meaning your client knows I have a $250 copay on major services for tier 2 major services. I have a $50 copay for the basic and major tier 1 services. So they know if I have to if I have to have a root canal done, that's the major 2. My portion is going to be $250. Dental copay 2, you'll see big nationwide footprint as well. We don't have it in Michigan as of yet, but if you're selling in other states, this is our richest dental plan because it's got no annual maximums and no waiting periods at all. No annual maximums and no waiting periods at all. So you'll see that's kind of in this column here. It's kind of got a tiered approach. So the longer you have it, some of those copay amounts go down. The key is, you have to find a dentist that's in the network, and the dentists that are in network have been great to use. And so really, really popular plan design for those of you selling in other parts of the country. I just wanted to mention, we're obviously looking to expand into Michigan and other states. So some of that's just waiting on states to finally approve them. I get this question a lot. So from a product standpoint, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. I understand and fully acknowledge there's a lot of content and a lot of information, a lot of different products that we went through today. Again, that's why I started with call my team, call me, email us. We want to help you. We want to work with you. Usually once you sell a policy once or twice, the third time's pretty simple because you get used to it. But with that being said, I wanted to take a screenshot of just how do you quote with Allstate Health? Where do I go? What does that look like? So if you haven't been to our agent back office site in a while, this is a screenshot of what it's going to look like. Okay. There's a blue bar once you log in. There says dashboard, agents, customers, policies, list bill, pending applications. If I were to click policies, and then there's a button that'll appear here. I can sort by, the date that I wrote it. I could just click apply. It'll populate all my business, but that's going to be where all of your clients are housed, you guys. So that's where you can go to see, hey, I know I wrote Bob Smith a couple months ago. Did he buy the Plan Enhancer or the Trinomed? Hey, Bill, I know wrote short term a couple months back. He's coming up on the end of short term. All of that's going to be showing up in policies. All right. So this is kind of where agents go to kind of stay organized. You can do it by customers as well. I find it easiest to click on policies. From there, this tool right in the middle says quote and enroll. Okay, once I click there, it's going to take me to a different site it's single sign-on, so it'll just automatically populate and pull you up in here. And this is where you'll start to run a quote. For dental, for accident, for short term, for access, for all of the plans that we went through today, one simple site, effective date, zip code, date of birth, gender, and click quote now. And it'll populate, like I said, any plans that your client would be eligible for based on this basic demographic info. Okay. The nice thing about our site is obviously if you were to write an access plan with a dental plan, with a trio med plan, and a hospital expense protection plan, all of that would go to your client with, it would feel seamless in that it's one bill, one bundled bill to your client. Obviously, you, the agent, get multiple commission checks for each of those plan and plan designs that you're selling them. But from a customer kind of experience, it's very seamless. It's one application and they get one bill for any and all plans that they were to choose. All right. I did want to end with this. For those of you on this call, I would encourage you take out your phones and snap that QR code and download this app called Allstate Elevate Rewards. If you haven't heard of this program yet, I'd encourage you to take advantage of it. If you're going to sell with us, you're going to get and earn points based on the sales that you make here. Short-term medical is the only plan as of today that we're not giving out points for, but you can redeem points on this for some really cool stuff. Obviously, gift cards. I had an agent go on a trip to Mexico with some of his points. I was on a trip with an agent incentive trip in February. We took a bunch of agents to Cabo, and one of them had some really nice brand new luggage that he got from here. I had an agent get a Weber grill off of this site. So if you're going to sell with us, I just wanted to encourage you, utilize, this, there's no cost to use it. Obviously, this is fully in addition to any commission that you're going to earn. But our hope is that it incentivizes you, the agent, to try writing with us, because I think we're very confident that if you like it, if you like our plans, hopefully this encourages you to continue to write your business here. Anybody feeling like this? I know that was a lot of information, guys. I tried to pack a lot of info in a short time, fully recognize that. If you're feeling like a deer in the headlights, let Allstate Health Solutions be your high beams. Let us give you some clarity. The quoting, I think you'll find it to be very simple. The system be very simple to use. And my team is here to help you guys anytime. So I appreciate your time today. If there's any questions, I can open it up to a Q&A time if that would be helpful. Otherwise, give me a call, shoot me an email, or give us a call at that toll-free number here at the bottom. And we'd love to work with you guys one-on-one.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carl. That was fantastic. Yeah, if anyone, we'll do a minute here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute and throw them out there. I had a couple, and I might have missed it if you did say so, but I caught where the copay plan 2 for the dental is not in Michigan. Was that for both, or do we have the one, the copay 1?
I believe, let me just triple check. You're right. I didn't have the map there for copay 1. So feel free to submit your questions here and I'll double check on that right now.
Wonderful. Uh, Carolyn's asking here, where do we find premiums? And I believe that's through the quoting process. Those would
Yeah.
show right on there.
Yeah, great question. So, yes, when you run a quote, you're going to go to that agent back office site that I just went through. Let me go back and you can see that screenshot one more time. Agent back office is going to look like this. And then this is the URL. I know it's small, but I'd be happy to email it to you guys anytime. I have copies of all of your usernames as well. If you need it, let me know. But it's ngahagents.ngic.com. Once you're there, you log in, and then you would just click quote and enroll. And I actually have some good news for you. Not only is the copay 1 in your area, I know they just added a couple states. It looks like Michigan was one of them that just got approved. So I'll just verify the effective date of when that'll turn on. But Michigan will have that initial copay one, and it looks like copay two as well.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I wonder if you could just touch briefly on for the access plan, specifically with the specified care, kind of the
Mhm.
underwriting process for that, or I guess waiting period is if someone has that heart attack, or one of those specified
Sure.
cares.
Yeah, so a lot of that's going to be based on, especially the kind of the cancer diagnoses, the heart attacks. It's based on first diagnosis. So if they've had a heart attack, it's not going to provide coverage if, for another heart attack. But it
Okay,
would provide coverage for some of those other things. So God forbid, clients already had a heart attack, it would still provide coverage for the cancers, the strokes, the burns, the comas, all of the other things.
okay, wonderful.
Yeah, and there is within the brochure it does a pretty good job of kind of spelling that out in some of the limitations and exclusions section. So be happy to email that out to anybody as well. One other thing, and I can put it up, maybe add it into the chat if it's helpful, but there's a really nice site called allstatehealth.com. I'll throw it in the chat for you guys. Allstatehealth.com is a really good site for agents to kind of learn a little bit more about our systems. Um, Once you're in there, all of our brochures will be in there that you can pull up for Michigan. Okay. We have a YouTube channel that gets linked in there. So there's actually someone that kind of walks through the brochure of short-term medical or dental or any of the plans in there. So allstatehealth.com is a really good resource for agents as well that I wanted to make sure was at least touched on today.
Wonderful. Well, great, Carl. Thank you so much for that. That is, I think, a fantastic suite of products that I would love to personally take advantage of. I'm excited about the dental. Those are great. Everybody wants dental and they want to get things done now. So that the fact that that's only 6 months and not a year is pretty impressive. I like that. Um,
Yeah.
so thank you so much. We will definitely have another webinar if that short term gets extended. I hope it does. I agree with you. It looks like it may. We have good chances. So fingers crossed there. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me. Please, guys, reach out to me or my team. We'd love to help any of you that wants to learn more. And obviously, we would love to earn your business.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Miranda. And thank you for everyone being with us today. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, guys.